Well folks, here we are, another little dog walk update. A beautiful day here in the Oxfordshire countryside. This is an exciting week ahead. Normally I don't film these dog walk updates mid-month. I normally wait to the first week, but there's so much happening over the next few days. It's going to be busy. I'm getting ready to go to work. I'll be away a couple of days, and then, as I alluded to in the last Jaguar video, the longest day of the year, the shortest night, and a bit of a Top Gear tribute challenge in the supercharged XKR. Back in the day, I believe it was in 2011, around about February, so Clarkson would have filmed that probably in June 2010. So it's pretty much 12 years to the day that Clarkson used a supercharged XJ to beat the sun. He went to Land's End, and at sundown at about 9:30 at night, he set off. As the sun whisked around westwards, he headed east to beat the sun for the 4:30 a.m. sunrise. By all intents and purposes, he beat it by a few minutes. However, if you look very closely at the footage, you see his watch is blurred out quite a lot of the time. Now, I'm not casting any sort of aspersions there. It may well have been they're just shooting B-roll at the end of it all. So I would like to hope that they did it legitimately, not just scripted for a bit of drama. It works out that the sun does over 600 miles an hour, and in order to complete the course on time, I've got to do it on an average of 63 miles an hour. So that's an average throughout. It is through the night, so hopefully the traffic won't be too bad. I don't know whether this will be terribly well received or not. It's a bit of fun, and of course this is all in tribute to Robin. The XKR was his. He had the Maserati as well, and the Range Rover. So big plans for the Range Rover as well. Maybe you've seen the initial part one out there. I'm going to try and attempt to drive from Land's End to John O'Groat, 837 miles on a single tank of fuel. I've still to hear back from the likes of Shell or BP whether they want to sponsor it. So if you don't ask, you don't get, as they say. So that's the plan. Hopefully they can throw a little bit into the kitty towards fuel, and I can sing their praises then on V-Power or Optimax or whatever it happens to be. So that is the Range Rover. That's going to be done sort of first week in July. I'm looking at towards the 4th. So if anyone wants to tag along, lend a bit of support, or just buy me a coffee to pay for some of the fuel, then that would be greatly appreciated. I'll stick a little link down below if you want to buy me a coffee and an attempt to kind of cover some of the costs. Talking about costs, it's more expensive to film all these things than you initially think. You think it's just a bit of fun and all the rest of it. I have bought myself a new camera to go along with the DJI mics. You might see the little furry cat on here. These mics are fantastic. This one plugs straight into the DJI Action 2 camera that I've treated myself to. At the moment, the channel is generating about £80, so that's 80 UK pounds sterling a month. That's what I'm getting paid for this, and of course I've got to pay tax on that. So 52 videos in, almost a year, and it's generating 80 quid a month. So maybe that's, well, it's showing how good or bad these videos particularly are. But you know what, I'm enjoying doing it. I stick it out. They all reckon it takes 5 years to build a channel, and they're probably right at this sort of rate. So I'm not going to be quitting my day job anytime soon. Hopefully I can attract a little bit more attention when we get a few of the challenge videos out, and maybe that might continue. Going to take the Maserati to Italy, a bit of a run. Going to take the BMW to Germany, back to the factory, do a bit of maybe a factory tour, or certainly the museum. We might even head by the Nürburgring. If you want to see a big boat heading around the Nürburgring, that might be a bit of fun as well. So anyway, so there's lots of ideas. It all costs a little bit to do. It takes time to do it in and out of actually filming all the bits and actually working, paying the mortgage, etc., etc. So you know what? There's a core of people that watch these dog walk updates. Thank you so much for subscribing. Just hit 3,000 subscribers, which is pretty fantastic for a little DIY channel such as myself. So many thanks. I know there are a few people there that continually comment, and that's much appreciated as well, because the more comments, the more interaction I get. The YouTube algorithm, as they talk about, it's really difficult to kind of understand, and I don't think you ever will. So the more people that comment just saying thanks Ed for the content, or whatever it happens to be, that's really much appreciated. So big thumbs up and a major thanks for that one. So let me see, what do we got? XKR then. I did a little coffee run in that up to Gilk's Cafe up near Gaydon, British Motor Museum. So if you're heading that way, you stop in for a coffee or whatever, and that's basically what it is: coffee and a sandwich, maybe a basic burger or whatever it happens to be. It's not really like Cafe in a Machine. I'm going to go and do a little bit on that, maybe take the Maserati up there just as a bit of a run as well. So that was the XKR. We just spent £1,000 on that car, or rather Robin's estate has spent £1,000 on the car. We've done full service on it. We did the belts, we did supercharger belt as well, including all the auxiliary belts. I did a full service with that down at Chiltern Jaguar. Fantastic guys. If you're looking for a specialist out there, I think it's £90 an hour plus VAT, and for a Jag specialist that have got all the gear and everything else, it's easy to see why they're busy. But they've got a lot of guys in there, and they were able to take the car at a moment's notice and service it, sort out. We had one little warning on the dash, pedestrian system, and apparently on the XKRs it's a well-known fault that the centre of the three sensors in the bumper starts to give trouble. In this case it was merely a matter of finding which connection was the issue. It turned out to be a connection. Once it was cleaned, the warning went away, but just to future-proof it, apparently the later cars have just the two sensors at the front, the two side sensors, not the centre impact one. That was obviously always going to give trouble, so they've coded that out of the system to prevent it from reoccurring. Maserati started it up, took it for a drive up the road. We got check engine light. I don't have the diagnostics for that, so I have no idea what it is. I did unplug the mass airflow sensor, let the car run, and then plugged it back in again. It seemed to behave itself, so I don't know whether it was just having sat around for a little bit. I'll get a mass airflow sensor and stick it in anyway. That's the Maserati. BMW, not really done much on that. Quite happy with the CarPlay install. But in fact, day to day, just using the hands-free Bluetooth in conjunction with the phone screen and the full stereo music is probably where I'm at with that. It works really well, does everything I need, hands-free, etc, and it's in stereo, and that's something that I lose with the little remote CarPlay install. Let me see, what else have we got? We got the Range Rover I mentioned. So the Range Rover, as well as doing the little challenge, that was back for a restricted performance over the last little while, to just a temperature sensor in the manifold, the exhaust manifold. So that was replaced. Oh, thanks to the guys up at Mark Smith Limited in Bicester, or Bicester Land Rover, for that one. Busy. Minis have not been out this year. What a shame. Beetle hasn't been out this year. MR2 hasn't been out this year. Oh, I really need to get a rear caliper. I've got that for the MR2. That's to be done. One of the rear brakes is binding on that. So you know what? But with the weather that's in it and all the rest of it, it's a fantastic little car for just heading around the place. 33 Morris. We have not used it this year, but we have started it a while back just to make sure everything's okay with that one. We'll do our best to get that one out, to get a bit more material on it. So quite a few of our subscribers subscribed because of the massive interest we had on the owning a vintage vehicle. So that was good. Really surprising. That's sort of 7,500 or 8,000 views, I think, at the minute, which is surprising, really. And I really don't know how to convert views into subscriptions. The issue we have is it's got 23,000 views a month, and I'm getting 3,000 subscribers. So maybe just I'm not as interesting as I think I am. But anyway, hopefully doing things a little bit differently, not just my car's broken, I want to fix it type thing. Hopefully I'll be able to attract some sort of more of a following as and when we get these kind of challenges up and running and going and doing things with the car. And that's what's really the whole point of having them. The cars are different, they've all got their own different styles and all the rest of it, and I think it's really just using them and enjoying them that people like to see the footage on. Oh yes, we spent another £1,000 on the XF Jaguar, getting that one ready for sale, or rather Robin's estate has paid for that. So if you're interested in a stunning XF, the XF-S 275 brake, as standard, it's a cracking car. It does everything. In the recent while, there's been new brakes and pads, there's been 2 new alloys, 2 new tires. It's had the cam belt done 8,000 miles ago. It's had a load of suspension work as well, doing bushes. You know what, the car's worth about 5 grand. I'd say it's had at least 3 grand spent over it in the last kind of 18 months or so. So that's kind of it. If you're after a nice day-to-day car, it's got that lovely contrasting kind of grey, metallic or grey pearl with the kind of oyster over ivory, I think it is, interior. It's a really nice car. We'll get that cleaned up and on the market in the next week or so, after I try and do a review on that that's been much awaited. So we'll round it up there. Thanks very much indeed for watching, guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you for the next one. All the best now. Bye bye.